Hey folks, quick disclaimer about Greasy Says, my new show about being a game developer for 15 years who's brown. Okay? Greasy Says contains explicit language, adult situations, and viewer discretion is strongly advised. Right? Greasy Says is supposed to be a comedic take on what it's like to be in the gaming industry from my perspective, but I'm not out here trying to make people feel uncomfortable just for the sake of it. So, to sum it up, I have a potty mouth. Don't let your kids listen to this shit. And kings and queens above 18 only. Let's try that. All right? Lay is.
Haha, let's get this party started.
High def with the professional.
Greasy says.
I'm trying a new thing. I have this old Zoom recorder. It's one of those handheld recorders. And I don't know. I was thinking the other day, I haven't done the podcast in a while. You know, who really cares, right? But I don't know. I guess I felt some level of guilt about that, even though no one's forcing me to do this. But I felt like, I just kind of want to say stuff out into the void. So what's preventing me from doing that? And I think it's like the setup. I got to get the mic stand out. I got to hook up the mic. I got to do this. I got to open live. I got to go fucking set up inputs and blah, blah, blah. And it's all this, this fucking parade every time I want to record some shit. And I was always wishing, like, man, I wish I could just like click, record my thoughts, and then click, turn it off, and walk away. And then I thought to myself, oh yeah, I still have this old Zoom recorder that I never use. It's just sitting in the closet doing nothing. It's super small. I can hold it in my hands. I can take it anywhere I want. I got a fucking dead wombat for the top of it that I made. I handmade myself, actually, way back in the day. Very proud of that. And I can just record shit easier. If that's the roadblock for me, is the setup, then remove the setup and just have the simplest setup you could possibly think of to record your stupid voice. So that's what I'm doing right now. We'll see how this goes. It's been a while. It's been a long time. How y'all been? How's all the greasy people out there in the world? Time's passing. We're getting older. Are you getting after it? Are you doing what you want to do? Are you chasing your dreams? If you're in games, are you taking care of yourself? Are you making fun stuff? Are you on teams that you like? Are you working with people that you like? How's your relationships at home with your significant other or partner, life partner, or your polyamorous relationship? How are your multiple partners doing? Is communication wide open? Because that's the only way it's going to work. How are you? I can't know because you can't answer me. So I'll just tell you how I'm doing. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I've been kind of wrestling with some depression, if I'm completely honest. I'm not saying I'm clinically depressed. I've never been diagnosed with depression, but I have been having depressive thoughts, existential sort of thoughts about being a dad and being a man over 40. I'm 44 now, if you could believe that. I'm an old fuck. I'm like just minding my own business, walking down the street. I'm a creepy guy now. I don't even have to try. I'm just automatically creepy. Just my resting face is creepy. My gait is creepy. The way I hold my shoulders is creepy. It's all creepy, right? I'm slowly disintegrating into nothing, just like we all are. It's okay. I have to come to terms with that, but that has sort of fueled some of the depressive thoughts that I've been having, and kind of how, like, after, once you become a dad. All right, so here's some heavy shit. Maybe you have a kid, maybe you don't. Shout out to you if you do. You are a king or queen among men and women. You are a dedicated parent. You deserve love and respect. No one else is doing this. A lot of other people are doing this, but just for the sake of making you feel good, no one else is doing this. Okay, you're a champion. For even waking up this morning and giving that little person food and making sure it pissed and shit in the right place and teaching it basic human skills and how to be a decent human being. If you're doing that, you are parent of the fucking year. Do you hear me? It's easy to beat yourself up as a parent. It's easy to get run down and forget that you are doing God's work. Okay? The fact that the little fucker is still alive is a miracle. Okay, so like yourself, because I try to tell myself that all the time. Like, yeah. But like the depressive thing I've been thinking about is like how this podcast, well, just take a step back. This podcast is supposed to be about video games. It's becoming less and less about video games and more about just fucking life, I guess. But it doesn't matter because there are no rules and nothing fucking matters. This podcast doesn't matter. Whoever's listening to this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the numbers. It doesn't matter the data. It doesn't matter. All of it doesn't matter. To me, what does matter to me is my family. My family recently has taken complete center stage. As soon as my kid was born, everything shifted. I became a single eye of Sauron with one goal, one objective, and that is to keep this family together and alive and elevate them. Okay? The minute I had my kid, I basically signed my death sentence. I have passed on my genetic code. I've done what I'm supposed to do. Right? I have reached the end of the tunnel. The light has been turned on. Everything is illuminated. Okay? The salmon have swum upstream, changed color along the way, transformed, if you will, into a new being. Released their life essence into the river. I've released my life essence into the river of life. And now it is time for me to go belly the fuck up. Because I've done it. I'm done. I'm done. So my goal now and my purpose now is to keep this unit functioning well, healthy, happy as you can be in a world of suffering, in an existence of suffering. I've been kind of reading, I don't read. I've been kind of looking at videos about Buddhism and stuff, and I read this manga back in the day about the life of Buddha, and Buddha always thought that life was suffering, which is true. That's all it is. It's just suffering. And you try to make the most of your suffering. But my job is to just make sure the suffering is a little bit less for these people who I care about. And then I can just disappear. Because my code has been transferred to this new, fresh, enthusiastic, beautiful being who's full of joy and hope. My hope has been whittled down to a nub. I don't believe in people, right? As this very educated coworker of mine once said to me, I am, I can't even remember the word. What's the word?
The word is misanthropic.
I want to say troglodyte, but that's too insulting. It's the word that's like basically like you don't believe people are worth shit. That's who I have become. This world has made me that. My experiences in this world have made me that. I've softened a little bit with age, but it's still in there. That bubbling sourness, that old crusty volcano magma is just in there, wedged in there, pressurized and, dangerous. But if I can pass that energy, that pent up energy into a beautiful flowing, free flowing river of lava that is my kid, just effortless, pure joy, anger, frustration, sadness, all of it's pure. I helped make that. I helped create that. What else could I possibly do? No game I make is ever going to be as cool. The graphics are never going to be as good. What I mean, is there better gameplay than the gameplay of life? Is there any more brutal of a Souls-like than life itself? I don't think so. I don't think Elden Ring is harder than life. That's why you're playing Elden Ring, to escape how hard your life is. So, all that to say, I've been kind of feeling a little depressed because I came to the realization that my life is sort of, I don't want to say pointless, but it's slightly trivialized at this point. I have a job to do, and that is to stack funds basically so that when I turn over and go belly up in the great river of life, that my spawn and my families can keep it moving. And that makes me sad because that made me sad because it made me realize like, oh shit, my highlight reel is done. Like my fucking no one wants to look at my feed. No one gives a fuck about what the fuck I'm talking about. It's all about the next generation. I'm washed up. I'm old news. And I spent some time feeling sorry for myself and laid in bed for fucking like 4 or 5 hours, just not moving. Really, really depressive. Sad, down on your luck. The sort of quintessential trope of cinema of like the dude laying in bed or the woman laying in bed in a dark room, feeling sorry for yourself. And that's what I did. And I needed that. I needed to do that to get through this. Is this thing still going? Yeah. To get through this sort of existential nightmare that I had created for myself.
Existential nightmare.
I guess that's like a metaphor for a permadeath video game. Like you play an XCOM and you lose that one medic. The medic that can do the double heals and what else? What other thing? Oh, can like stun fucking robots and shit. And you put all this time and energy into it, and then boom, just by happenstance, they were standing next to a gas station when one of the brutes threw a grenade and it blew up, and then they got splash damage from all of the gasoline canisters, and those blew up. And before you knew it, that medic that you had worked so hard to create is gone, just like that. That's life, man. That's you. That's the life you're building. You're building your own medic. You're building your own fucking awesome team. And you try to keep that team alive, but at any moment, all the work that you put in to yourself or to your teammates could disappear like that. One stray brute grenade could just take it all down. And that is why you need to vote. I'm just kidding. I don't give a fuck about that. Voting it's voting season again. The worst time of year. And I swear that they put it around Halloween as a personal attack on me. I love Halloween. I love this time of year. The leaves are changing. The air is getting brisk. You got your decorations. You got your cool clothes are coming out. All the nice jackets and shit. And then here these fuckers come with their hate and their fear and their manipulation and their complete consumption of the news cycle and people's minds. They're mind thieves, right? The politics thing, the voting thing, it's all a big ass mind steal. And I can't stand it. I can't wait for this shit to be over. Luckily, I've insulated myself a bit more this round, and I haven't been affected by it as much. I think that's because I'm off of social media. In case you haven't noticed, in case you haven't checked out Greasy Says on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, it's been fucking crickets. Because I don't enjoy social media. So if I'm not highly motivated to promote the podcast, I'm not even looking at the shit because I think it's poison, and it is poison. But because I haven't been exposed to that, and because I don't watch the news, I'm finding out shit that politicians have been saying to each other from like comedians and stuff, which is the best way to learn about some dumb news I don't give a fuck about, is from a comedian's perspective. But yeah, vote for whoever you want to vote for. I hope your fucking wildest dreams come true. They won't. I hope everything that they promised you, they deliver on. They won't. And I hope that finally, when you get what you want, you'll love your fellow man more. You won't. I recently watched a movie. This probably has something to do with my existential sort of dread about being an old fuck and passing on your essence to a new being and the risks that entails. I watched a movie called We Need to Talk About Kevin, because it being Halloween, happy Halloween everybody, it being Halloween, I like to basically watch horror movies for the entire month of October going into November. So I've been picking, every few nights or whatever, I sit down and I watch a fucking horror movie. And this one fucked me up. Long story short, this movie is about a woman who has a baby, right? She has a this is all linked. She has a great young life, and she's, oh shit, I got a meeting, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. What the hell, I think I remember what I was talking about. I was talking about that movie We Need to Talk About Kevin. Right. Yeah, right. Crisis, existential, right. Me feeling like an old fuck, etc. Got it, I'm back. I got it. I'm gonna have to go again in like 4 minutes anyway, but so yeah, this woman, she's a young, vibrant woman. She's in France, she's in Italy, she's traveling, she meets a guy, she falls in love. It's young love and it's beautiful, and they're running in the rain and laughing and smoking cigarettes, having a great time. And then time passes and she has a baby with the guy that she met. And she, even during pregnancy, she starts realizing that this is not for her. Which I applaud in movies, because the depiction of child rearing, childbirth, pregnancy, all of that shit has been so skewed and so fucking Disneyfied by media. It's not like that, folks. Having a kid is hard, it's messy, it's fucked up, it breaks you into tiny pieces and then spreads those pieces all over the place in deep shag carpet. So you ain't never finding some of them pieces again. Anyway, so this lady, she realized she doesn't like having a kid, and then the kid is born and she dislikes the kid even more every moment with the kid. The kid won't stop fucking crying and screaming. And she kind of hates the kid. She can't stand being a parent. The kid grows up, toddler age, a little bit older than that, maybe like between some ages of 5 and 8 or something. And the kid starts exhibiting very, very strange behavior, like not speaking to the mother. Like every time the mother says something, the kid comes back with a blah, 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 kind of making fun of what she's saying, frustrating her. But she's a shit mom, so you kind of don't feel sorry for her. And it escalates from there. The kid grows older and gets more fucked up, and fucked up things are happening, and you're getting an inkling through some incredible editing and cinematography that something has gone terribly wrong in these people's lives. And it's something to do with Kevin. And I'm going to just leave it there. If you have a chance to watch this movie, I would recommend three types of people watch this movie. One, people, if you just like horror movies and you're looking for something a little different, because it's not sort of like jump scare, monster, slasher sort of horror. It's a deeper, it's a real horror. The horror of being human, the horror of facing your demons, the horrors of making mistakes, the horrors of parenting. It's all there. Other type of person, a dad. This movie fucked me up. This movie is scarier than all of the other movies I've watched this month because I'm a dad. I am so scared of fucking my kid up mentally. And I know I will in some way because it's inevitable. I am human. I have flaws. I will make mistakes that will ricochet through time into my little man, into my perfect little dude, and fuck him up. And I'm sorry. I'm already sorry that I did it. I don't even know what it is yet, and I'm sorry that I did it. And this movie just put a giant magnifying glass on that realization about myself. And then the third person I think that should watch this is anyone thinking about having a baby, specifically, the female persuasion. I know that's very fluid now, but if you have the ability to have a kid and carry a kid, I'm saying in your body, I would definitely watch this movie sort of as an appetizer, if you will, a little something to get your palate ready for prime time, for the main event. We have to talk about Kevin. We've got to talk about Kevin. We have to talk about Kevin. Go check it out. It's not really a what you're playing, right? It's more of like what you're watching. But yeah, fucked me up. Sort of was the push I needed to go into this existential hole that I was in. Was watching that movie. It tipped me right over the edge. It was the straw, the feather, the this is Sparta kick into the abyss. Tell you what, friends, I just checked if this is gonna work by grabbing the SD card and making sure the audio recorded and it doesn't sound like complete ass. And it might, this new setup that I have might work. I might be able to do this shit pretty much anywhere with this thing. That's great. We'll see how it sounds once I put it inside a live and, try to embiggen the waveforms as you do. But as I was doing this, I wanted to tell you guys about another sort of revelation that I've had. And this, I don't know if you watch Your Mom's House podcast. I do. Christina P on there.
Hi, Jeans.
She used to have these things on her own podcast called Pajitsky Effects. Her last name is Pajitsky. And the idea is it's something you realize you've been doing forever. That is really dumb. And all you have to do is change it, that one little thing, and your life suddenly becomes way better. I recently, in the last few months, maybe a year, 6 months, something like that, I've come to the realization of, okay, so example, I needed an SD card reader because who the fuck has SD card readers in normal life? Unless you're like a fucking photographer, who has SD card readers? No one. You don't even think about this shit. So I needed one for some reason or another. Oh, I needed to upgrade the firmware on my car. So I needed an SD card for that. So I needed an SD card reader for that. So I could put the files on the fucking thing. So I went out to Best Buy, right? Where I never go, except when I'm in a pinch. And I'm looking at SD card readers. And there are some that are like, $12. And it holds the standard SD card, the one that I had. and it has like, kind of normal transfer speed, maybe a little low, but it's cheap and it gets the job done for what I needed then. But I thought to myself, man, I always do this. I always go for the cheapest fucking thing that costs the least amount of money. That's what cheap means, you jackass. And it serves the purpose of that moment. So I needed a regular big SD card reader. I was going to buy a regular big SD card reader. I wasn't going to go looking for the thing that could read all types of card readers. But then I stopped myself. As I reached for that shelf, I looked down and I saw, oh, that's a card reader that can read micro SD cards, regular SD cards. The transfer speed is faster, but it costs like $70 instead of 12. Now the cheap miserly Indian dad in me was like, oh no, we're gonna spend the least amount of money and get the job done. But then the growing wiser, honed man that I've become thought to himself, you know what? Better to spend a little more now, or a lot more, depending on what $70 means to you, and get the thing that does more than what I need and does it better, does the thing that I want to do better than the thing I was going to buy for $12. So I spent the money on the $70 fucking dollar SD card reader, and it worked great for my purposes, and I put it in a fucking closet, and I closed the door, and that was the end of that. Until just now. Until right between us right now, folks, I have a micro SD card in this recorder. Had I bought the $12 SD card reader, I would have been fuck out of luck. I would have been luck fucked. But because I was smart and I wasn't thinking about the cost, but I was thinking about the future, I was able to make a future decision in the past. So thank you, past self, for being a little bit braver than the cheap Indian dad inside of me. Thank you. Because now I didn't have to make another trip to Best Buy to get a different fucking card reader or hunt for this obscure ass USB cable that this thing apparently had attached to it that I don't know where it is anymore. Thank you, past self, for thinking of the future. And let that be a lesson to all of you. Think with your future brain. Think about what you're going to need down the line. Think about your happiness down the line, right? If you buy the cheap tire wrench, you're going to be cursing down the street when your fucking tire has to come off and the shit's all fucked up and it's hard to use, but it cost $7 at Walmart and you didn't buy the $50 fucking Snap-on or whatever the fuck Hilti, your $1,000 Hilti tire spanner. Could have saved yourself a lot of grief, a lot of gray hairs, a lot of frustration. Make those future choices. Make those future choices. Think about that when you buy a console. Yes, you could go cheap and buy the console with the least amount of accessories. It doesn't have the bigger hard drives are a thing of the past now, right? No. Yeah, they have drives in them still. You know, the cheapest bundle. Or you splurge on that bundle, get your enjoyment, and then down the line, double your enjoyment because you made the right decision. Now you can play God of War 3 in high def in 4K, 8K, instead of having to settle because you cheaped out on your PlayStation. I'm not a fan of collector's editions. I don't do that shit. I don't need more shit in my house. But if the collector's edition is going to make you happier in the future, buy that shit. Go ahead, spend your stupid money on it because it's just money. And money inherently brings no joy unless you're helping others with it. And even then, it's still a chance. It's still a crapshoot that you will find reward in that. And isn't that what it's all about? Reward? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's not about reward. It's the opposite of that. You don't need to be rewarded. Well, it's good to be back. It's good to be chatting again. I hope someone out there listens to this. I don't know what kind of traction. I haven't checked numbers in forever. It feels great not to care. It feels great not to care about my social media. It feels great not to care about the numbers that this podcast is doing. It feels great to just have this podcast for me, for future me, to take past me, digest it, crumble it up, grind it into a fine paste, and lather it onto my future body, onto my future brain. I'm getting all of my demons out from the past on this vehicle of technology and audio waves coming out of your speakers. I'm using it to kill, siphon off my demons so that future me can be a happier, better, less depressed guy. Also, I'm thinking about like easing up on porn, but we'll talk about that next episode. All right? Greasy people, thanks for coming out. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, give me feedback, tell me to go fuck myself or not. Or not. It's all gonna be okay anyway. And until next time, it's me, Greasy, and I'm checking out with the SD card. Bye.